the vision of your school is a pretty interesting one. It's what I love most about talking to people who start charters is that all of these charters always have a unique approach to education. They always do something new, something a little different, something innovative. And your school is the first school I've heard of that centers children's literature around its teaching model. I think that's really, really cool. As a new dad myself, I'm very immersed in children's literature at the moment. What gave you the idea of using children's literature as a foundational element for your education program? And can you walk us through what that looks like in practice?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was teaching, we had an adopted basal program that we used for reading instruction, and there were references to great books. There were excerpts from great books, but my students never had those books in their hands. And I think without having the actual real life text in classrooms, we really do a disadvantage to students because they never see themselves as readers. When they aren't holding the actual book in their hand, they're just looking at an excerpt of it, or even if it's the whole book in a textbook, it doesn't have the same feel. When I go home and I read and I'm an avid reader, I never sit at my desk and open a large textbook and read through it and answer questions. I'm cuddled up on the couch with that book in my hand and really having those great comfort feelings and emotions. And so we wanted to be able to implement that more into school. Our goal is that we're creating lifelong lovers of learning and reading. And so we feel that having actual literature, having trade books in the classroom is one of the ways to do that. The other thing that we really focus on is not just the literature, but the literacy demands in all content areas. It is a big misconception. We get asked that question all the time. Well, like, how do you only teach reading? And that's not the case. We do teach all content aligned with Nevada state standards, but we focus on the literacy demands in each of those content areas. We're in this really unique spot in history where basically anything you want to learn, you can find free access online. But to do that, you have to be able to, one, access that text, be able to look at it critically, know what good sources are, what poor sources are, and be able to make meaning from that information. We're incredibly blessed to be in this time in history where all that abundance of information is there. And we really feel like it's our job to prepare students to be able to engage with all of those free online resources and free access. We also know that about 65% of jobs that we're preparing students for today don't exist yet. So making sure that we're creating students who can work together in groups, who have critical thinking, can collaborate, can identify problems, answer questions, is really at the core of what we do. It's long gone are the days of a list of standards, and if you just check those off, by goodness, you can get a job.